A full-featured phone that's safe for teens. That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Gabb Wireless is founding partner and VP of Marketing, Lance Black. Great to see you again, Lance.
Fred, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Well, for people who haven't seen our earlier interviews, let's give a bit of background about the company to begin with.
So Gabb is about a 4.5-year-old company. Started with solving the problem of that there's a few years ago there was no real great solution for communication for a teen. If they're looking for a cell phone, or I'd say kids and teens, if they're looking for a cell phone, all they had was a flip phone or a full-fledged smartphone that was built for adults. So Gabb set out to change that. We in 2019 we built a phone that is a safe phone for kids, meaning that it's a version of Android that we stripped some functionality and created a Gabb OS, allowed for calling and texting and camera and contacts and MMS and group and image texting, but none of the stuff that a parent wouldn't want to give their kid, like internet, social media, etc. So super popular. Sold hundreds of thousands of them. Also introduced a watch for younger kids, and so a way that parents can keep track of their children with a wearable device. Again, it's a phone, so we call it the phone kids wear, a watch on a watch. So it's calling and texting, and we just launched our third version of that. One of the features that parents love the most on all of our devices, all three of them, is the GPS tracking and safe zones and kind of knowing where your children are. So Gabb defined and built the safe tech for kids category, in which we have software and hardware solutions to allow parents to stay connected to their kids and also have peace of mind that comes with safety.
And now you have your first phone aimed at the teen market. Tell us about that and what some of the differences are.
Yeah, thank you. So you're right. We just released this week the Gabb Phone 3 Pro, which is perfectly positioned as the tween and teen phone. So if you look, we in our solutions space, we have what we call tech in steps. So if you start at 5 or 6 years old with one of our wearable devices, and then you start with a perfect first phone, which is kind of this locked down phone that we talked about earlier. And then as your children age, we strongly believe that kids need some flexibility and parents need choice. And so we can't protect a child that's not on our platform. And so one of the major features of the Gabb Phone 3 Pro, this phone for teens, is the ability to have third-party apps. This is a curated, if you will, list of third-party apps where we have reviewed them internally, and then they're not automatically on the phone. The parent needs to agree to put that app on the child's phone. So I'll give you an example. Historically with Gabb, if a kid loved sports and wanted ESPN, then they would have to leave our platform. But now with the Gabb Phone 3 Pro, a parent can accept the risks of ESPN, which would be, all kinds of content and potentially strangers out there. But if they're comfortable with that risk, then they can push that app to the child's device. So safe, reviewed third-party apps that are parent approved and parent acknowledged of maybe potential risks that are with some of those apps.
And what would some of the protections be that kids and parents would want to know about here?
So one of the opportunities that we have with, are you talking about in the app space, Fred, or are you talking about protections in general?
In using the phone, how is it different from giving a teenager just a regular off-the-shelf phone?
Yeah, great question. So one of the big differences is there's not unfettered access to an app store, right? So you give your child an iPhone, they're able to potentially download any app that they want, and some of those apps are super dangerous. And even though maybe they're dangerous because of of some of the risks of people who have ill intent, but they also can be dangerous for screen time. So in
Are you
general,
talking about social media kinds of
yeah,
things?
well, social is a big part of that, but even just screen time in general by a number of apps, right? There's tens of millions of apps out there available, and our kids, if they have multiple apps on their phone, then they are, they're on their phone. We've all witnessed kids on their phone constantly just scrolling, and so social media is a big part of that. I mean, if you're on Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram, you're spending hours and hours. Experts say up to 7.5 hours a day on the phone. And so the thing that Gabb provides is all that connectivity without the worry of excessive screen time. So some of those protections, for example, are the Gabb OS and something we call Gabb Guard, which has Gabb Messenger. So we've written our own messaging platform, right? So that means the texting, the SMS texting that kids that we all do, and that kids need and expect, so that they can chat with their friends and their grandma and grandpa and their family. It's using our messenger platform. That platform protects kids by filtering out words that would be harmful or dangerous, and then also we have Gabb Messenger for Parent app, where the parent can come in and review, if something negative is happening on that device, then we decide whether it should be passed through to the child or whether it's harmful enough that it's blocked it. So we'll either block or let it through and report to the parent that there's conversations. For example, we have a parent who is one of our customers, and their child was having a tech conversation with their friend, and their friend was saying how much they did not like their parents, and this allowed our customer to have a great conversation with their child about their friend and how their relationship was with their parent. And so filtered text messages. We also would filter out any kind of inappropriate content that would be sent to that device. Pictures, video would go across our filtration and be caught. Gabb Music is another way. So kids and teens like music, right? And so our music platform allows us to stream all the hits, but none of the explicits. And we also are able to lean heavy into innuendo. So we can catch innuendo as well. So think of a streaming platform with music that has all the historical hits and and the new ones that pass our filtration. So it's kids and teens really love our music platform. So those are just two ways that we protect, and there's many more.
With the messaging and friends sending a text message, do they need a special app, or is it just the Gabb phone that has that filtered?
Yeah, no, that's the beauty, right? Our Gabb Messenger works with SMS and MMS platforms, and so you can communicate with anybody with the phone. But when it's coming into and leaving your platform, our platform, we have the ability to filter that and either tell the parent the type of conversation. So we don't expose all of our text messages to the parents. We do that on purpose. It's strategic. That it would be easy for us to do, but parents and children need to build a relationship of trust. And so what we do is we're able to filter any kind of harmful content and report that to the parent that that those conversations could be happening. But no, our messaging platform works agnostic of your SMS or MMS platform.
Are there also time limits that parents can set through the phone? I mean, you mentioned the amount of time kids spend online. You're eliminating some of the apps that they spend a lot of time with typically. But tell me about the approach you're taking versus the idea of just setting time limits or something along those lines.
Yeah. So in a near future version, we'll be rolling out time limits as well on the Gabb Phone 3 Pro. We have it on our watch and other platforms right now, but it'll be rolling out to our Gabb Phone 3 Pro for teens. So time limits are a part of it, but also you can in the future be able to set quiet time and focus time access to when you have access to apps and when you don't have access to apps. But really, a lot of the safety comes because of the lack of some of these harmful apps, right? So we will never have Instagram on our platform. We'll never have TikTok on our platform, but we would have other apps that kids and teens would need. So one thing that's unique to the Gabb Phone 3 Pro, Fred, that we love is if you if let's say you live in I don't know, let's say you live in Kansas City and you're on a football team or a dance team and your coach needs you to, they use some communication app. So and if our phone doesn't have that, so a parent can then request that app. And then we can run it through our review process. And if it passes certain criteria in our review process, we can make that available to that child and put it in our reviewed app store. And so we just want to be able to protect anybody that we don't want to be able to not protect a child because we don't have the app. And so parents can request an app. We'll review it. If it passes our criteria, then we would put it in our app store. To be able to be.
You do allow programs like the Kindle Reader or Audible, those kinds of things?
Yes. Yeah. So those are two great examples, right? Both of those apps you just mentioned could have some inherent risks, right? So there's a lot of great content on Audible, but there would be some content that a parent might have concern for. So one of the if you look at our Tech and Steps, our lockdown phone, our Gabb Phone, you can't put any apps on it. But as a kid ages, a parent may be willing to increase the vulnerability, if you will, to that child, and so that so perhaps they want them to read a lot of books or to listen to a lot of books. They're comfortable with that risk of, I'm okay with putting Audible on their device and then having conversations with that teen about some of the dangers that are out there of potential tracks that could be inappropriate. So with this teen phone, we are consciously introducing vulnerability, because with apps come vulnerability, but also that helps build kind of a trust relationship with parent and teen as they age up and mature in their phone and media needs.
Tell us how pricing works, Lance.
Yeah, Fred, thank you. So one of our value propositions since the beginning of Gabb is to be affordable. And so our Gabb Phone 3 Pro retails at $199. For the holidays here, you can most likely find an offer of 50% off. So you're south of $100, $99. And then the monthly fee starts at $24.99. So you can get your child protected and connected for under $100 on the one-time purchase and a commitment of $24.99 going forward. The app option that I mentioned costs a little bit more because it comes with data and access to these apps.
And music is additional too, I assume?
Yeah, so our $24.99 plan does not come with music, but that's our starter plan, and then our standard and our advanced plans come with music.
Interesting. And this is a Samsung phone. This is can you tell us more about the hardware?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so you're right. This is a Samsung phone, so it's a brand that parents and kids trust, right? We've partnered with Samsung to provide our OS on their platform. It's their A line, their A13. So kids love, and especially teens love cameras. So we spared no expense on the camera, quad core camera with 50 megapixel. And what the kids really love is the ultra wide, or the 0.5, they call it, which is, the wide angle. And it's a 6.5-inch display, high quality, a very durable Gorilla Glass. And all the specs that you'd expect from a manufacturer like Samsung.
And as far as sending and receiving pictures, this is going through your platform, so that you have an algorithm of some sort that reviews to make sure that these photos being sent or received are appropriate?
Yeah, so in the less expensive plan, as I mentioned, we have it's just SMS only. So no picture and group text. In the middle and second plan, or the third plan, then we allow the opportunity for MMS, and which is image and group texting. And then the beauty and the power of owning the messaging platform is we can then put our GabbGuard filtration, put it through our GabbGuard filtration, and filter out any highly inappropriate textual content, and then also any kind of image or visual content. So that's the beauty of it. And then something coming real soon. We haven't advertised it yet, but video calling and being able to filter out inappropriate conversations and imagery through video calling. So stop the call and tell the parent type of thing. So that's coming and in beta testing right now on some of our other phones. So that's exciting.
For more info, where do people go?
Yeah, Fred. So gabb.com, gabb.com, and you can read all about our Gabb Phone 3 Pro for teens, and then you can also look at any potential holiday deals that we've got going on.
Terrific. Again, it's gabb.com. Lance Black, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate your time.